Hey everybody, welcome to class. My name is Frank Marco. I will be your professor for this senior capstone project class. It's going to be a great class. I know that you guys have come a long way. I'm assuming that most of you are in your last term or two as a student here, and that's why you're doing your senior capstone project. And I am here to help you get through this class and through this project, and to help you to develop a paper that is something that is well written, that reflects your experience at the Kings, and something that you're proud of. So this class is going to be different perhaps than other classes that you've taken. We're not going to give you a whole lot of new content in this class. You're not going to be reading 5 books and getting 20 new theological ideas. Really, this is a place where we want you to pause, to think, to reflect about things you have learned in the past through your experience at the Kings, right? Through your academic training, through your personal development, and through your ministry practice. This is the place where we want you to be reflective and to pull those things together and to come up with a paper that sort of summarizes, reflects the totality of your experience in your time here, so that you have something that, if somebody said, what did I do at the Kings? You got this one paper and say, this is what I did. These are the key ideas. These are the key thoughts. This is the transformation that happened in my own life. This is the ministry I experienced and how I was able to apply and integrate my academic experience with my education. So that's really kind of the thrust of this class. And so I am here to sort of guide you and to help you to refine your paper and your thinking about your paper. And so that's really kind of a summary of the class and my role here in the class. Now, if you haven't read the course syllabus, I want you to take a minute now, I want you to take like 15 minutes now and to read it, because this next video here really is an introduction and overview to the syllabus in as much as it is an introduction to the class. And so if you take some time and read it now, this will make a lot more sense, all right? So if you haven't read it, pause right now on your video screen and come back once you've done. Okay. Have you finished reading the syllabus now? All right, I hope you have, because here we go. We're going to zip on through this thing, and I'm not going to talk about everything in the syllabus. I'm going to kind of just hit the high points, all right? So you can read the course description and the learning outcomes. Now, if you'll notice, the course objectives for this class are really tightly connected with the institutional and program objectives of the King's University. And you might be saying, well, I don't care about that stuff. That's all just kind of wonky academic stuff. Well, maybe it is, but you should be excited about that and concerned, because this is going to help you demonstrate that we were able to, and that you were able to as a student, accomplish what it is that the King's University and your academic program was all about, right? So if anybody says, did you really do what you set out to do at the King's University when you started off? You could say, yes, I did. And I have my capstone project to prove it, because the objectives of the capstone project were tied into the objectives of the university, right? All right, so maybe that doesn't matter to you. I'm an academic, that matters to me, but I just wanted to point that out now, that you're going to have one standalone project here which really proves that as a student you were able to accomplish everything that we set out to help you accomplish as a student. All right, so enough said about that. Now, we have one textbook in this class, and it is a book to help you become a better writer and to help through this whole kind of capstone process. It's called How to Write a BA Thesis, a practical guide from your first ideas to your finished paper. This book is going to be helpful to you. The project that you're going to do in this class isn't exactly like the kind of project he describes, but a lot of the steps and a lot of the process that he describes is going to be very similar. So you're not going to be, for example, looking for an original idea and getting an advisor and pulling together a committee and all those kinds of things. We're kind of laying out what this paper should be like, what the key ideas are going to be. well, based on the curriculum, that's what it is. But in some capstone projects, they have you sort of come up with like an original idea, and you're going to research that one idea. More of a scholarly approach. This is what you're doing is much more of a summative, integrative approach. But anyhow, the book is going to help you, I think, to think through how to write this and to give you some tips on the writing process. This is an entire semester-long class. This is a big paper. And so you need some help. Hopefully it'll help you to think through your writing style, your writing process. Hopefully by now, most of you are pretty strong writers. You've been writing for the last couple of years, pretty nonstop. And but this is just one more aid to help you pull together, to think again about writing clearly, concisely, effectively, all those kinds of things. So I hope you enjoy the book. We're not going to read the entire thing, but there's quite a few chapters that are assigned. You're free to read as much of it as you like. Obviously, you paid for it. And then, of course, the King's Style Manual. And hopefully you're familiar with this as well. But the Style Manual really is to help you come up with a good format, a voice, if you will, to cite things correctly, to put your margins all standardized so that everything looks real good and polished. So those are really the two main textbooks. I have an optional textbook here, which you may have already read by now. It's not exactly a new book. It's been around for a while now, but it's Reggie McNeil's A Work of Art. And this is a wonderful book. I would encourage you to read this if you haven't read it, to just give you an idea of how to sort of integrate, right, theology and practice and personal reflection. So it really could be like a model for you, if you will. Not that your papers are going to be like, this life-changing book. Hopefully it reflects life change. But it's a great book for your personal development, and it kind of models the type of thinking and integrating thinking that we're hoping for in this paper. All right, so I would strongly recommend that as well. So in terms of methods of instruction, you'll see here we've got the course learning materials, discussion board, peer paper review, and the draft review. Okay, so let me talk about all those things here. Let me break them all down for you. So the discussion boards. Each week, not every week, but most weeks we're going to have some kind of discussion board activity. This is primarily a student-centered activity. I will be in there. I will challenge you and help you along the way. But this is going to help you to apply some of the concepts and to challenge each other and to work with each other as you're writing your papers. The other idea are the paper drafts. I'm sorry, the peer paper review. Now, as we get to certain stages along the way in the class, you are going to post a certain part of your paper. So we'll start off light with just a thesis or an introduction or an outline, and then we'll kind of get into, the body and those kinds of things. But you're going to post those, and then you're also going to read other people's papers. So this is called peer review. You are going to look at your peers, i.e. your other students in the class, and you're going to help each other, and you're going to read it, and you're going to say, this was really good, but this wasn't that clear for me. I think you need to tighten this up. I think you need to clarify this. Those kinds of things. All right, so again, we don't want you to just say, great job, brother, you did good. We really want you to be critical. We want you to help each other, almost like a teacher, right, would read the paper and sort of critique it and evaluate it to help you make it better. All right, so this is a good skill, especially for some of you going on to graduate school. You're going to do more kind of peer review. You're going to help each other and challenge each other in that kind of a program. So this is a good process. This is good to help you step into that level of academia. And then, of course, I will be reviewing your drafts along the way. So that's kind of how this class is going to be laid out. It's going to be step by step. First, you're going to do this part of the paper, and you'll see in the course outline that I've got it all laid out, what's due when it needs to be submitted. So you're going to the whole class really is a process of developing this paper. So that's the only assignment due except for the discussion boards, right? But even those drafts, they're assignments per se, but they all lead into and they're part of your larger paper, right? So we're kind of helping you manage this thing and break it down. It's a big paper, it's a 20-pager, so we're trying to help you manage it, break it down so that each week you're doing a part of it. By the time you get to the end, it's almost built, it's kind of built itself, right? And by the end, you're just sort of reflecting and refining and adding, perhaps new things in there. But it's not just a big paper that you're going to wait till the end and say, okay, man, I got to write a 20-page paper. We want you to do it piece by piece, chunk by chunk. Now you'll see that I have a online participation policy and guidelines. I really want you guys to get in the discussion board early, right? Don't wait until Sunday night. It's got to be minimum by Wednesday in order to get full participation points. But don't leave this and say, oh, this is something I got to do at the end. This kind of class especially, you need to get in early. You need to post your drafts early so that other students have time to look at it, think about it, and reflect on it. All right, so please do read my participation guidelines, and there's also a grading rubric too for how I'll be grading those discussion threads. What else do I want to say? I've already talked about the peer review assignment, and then there's the final project. All right, so this really is the heart of the class, and I want you to take some time really and to think about this final project here, to read this this overview, if you will, what the components are. So we'll talk more about this going forward in the class, because obviously this is the heart of the class, this paper. But make sure you understand that the nature of this paper here. Let me just mention real quick what some of these key components are. All right. Now I have my computer over here, so forgive me if I'm looking over here a lot, but I have to look at it because I haven't memorized it yet. All right. So number one, identification. By the way, I'm on page 7 of the course syllabus. Identification and exploration of key course concepts. All right, so you're going to reflect back, you're going to think about what you've done, you're going to look through your old papers, you're going to go through your computer files, and you're going to identify and explore key concepts. Reflection on biblical studies and theology. Now you might say, well, I just did that, it was all Bible theology. Well, we want you to pull out specific key biblical and theological ideas. So there might be one theological idea that ran across several courses that you can identify. Number 3, reflections on ministry practice. And of course, you know at the Kings, we're big on integrating practice and education. So hopefully you have lots of experience that you can reflect upon and that you can use. Your practicums certainly would be a good place to go back and look at some of the reflections that you've done there. But that's a major component. Reflections on personal growth and development, and hopefully you've grown not just academically and as a minister, but also personally as a person, as a man or woman of character, spiritual development. Hopefully you've known Jesus better, not just known more about him, but you've actually grown and matured somewhat over the last couple years here. And then reflections on lifelong learning. And you know, any school, it's important for the school to know that you are committed to not just, you know, getting out of here, walking out of here, putting that diploma on the wall, but you like learning, that you love learning, you got a passion for it, and that you're going to continue on. And you know, we're not requiring you, you know, you got to go on and do a graduate program or you have to keep reading books, but we just want to see some reflection that learning has become a value to you as a human being, and that you intend to persist on. Maybe you might identify things like, boy, I really, you know, when I was at King's, I really got fired up about this, and I want to continue to pursue that once I get out of here. Okay, so the last thing I believe, or one of the last things here, is the course outline and schedule. Take a look at that. It's all laid out. By the way, this is a full semester class, and so we've got a spring break right in about the middle there. You'll enjoy that. But I've got each topic, each section of the textbook reading right there, each assignment that's due, and hopefully it's very manageable. All right, I've tried to lay this out to make it a manageable class. In a way, I don't want to say it's going to be a light class, but because there's no new content, you're not really wrestling with understanding and reflecting upon new things. You're kind of understanding and reflecting on old things that you've already studied, and you're pulling them together and you're synthesizing them in a way that kind of summarizes the totality of your experience in your degree here at the Kings. All right, there's the course policies. Late work, academic integrity, and then there's a bibliography. We sort of broke the bibliography into 2 sections. There's one that's focused on writing and some tools and some books that you could use. Again, if you're still kind of wrestling with writing, you might say, boy, this has to reflect good college level writing now. I need to bone up a little bit. Please do use some of these resources. And then there's the spiritual formation, spiritual development part of the bibliography, right? And this will help you, if you liked O'Neill's work, this will help you to move on in that, and again to look at some models of sort of this integrating spirituality and practice and those sorts of things. Well, that's about it, you guys. This is the only video lecture that I'm going to post this week. I'll do these. I probably won't do them every week, but perhaps when we have kind of a new idea or new section that's important for you. So hopefully this was helpful to you. Hopefully you're looking forward to this class. Again, I know it's a required class. You might say, man, I just got to do it. But hopefully by the end that you'll have something, like I said earlier, that you're proud of, that really reflects your experience here, and that helps you to reflect back and think about and remember all the things that have taken place in your thinking, in your practice, and in your personal development, right, that are important, that happened to you at your time here at the Kings, that you can you can say job well done, and you can show other people job well done. And when you have that diploma on your wall, you know that you've earned it, that you really are proficient in this area of study. So look forward to getting to know you guys and working with you and helping you to develop amazing capstone projects. Again, I'm here for you. Call, email, carrier pigeon, smoke signals, however you want to get in touch with me. I'm here for you. You have full access to me. Just don't call me in the middle of the night with personal problems. I will not be there for you in that instance, but I will be here for you to help you get through this class. So God bless you guys, and I'll see you all online.